This is the EGC 20k Age of Empires 4 tournament. The quarterfinals are on, the last 8 generals are battling it out. Let's resume a current war. Nuki, you welcome. This Ironcast. Barbaric greetings to you. Here's our generals for round 2 of this best of 5. Introducing the Mista's band of merry horsemen. They are the Mongols made in red. Getting their town center over to the wood, they'll probably soon spot those berries just up ahead. Always a worry starting out as the Mongols and figuring out where to get your town center fast. You don't want to waste those seconds, but the seconds you must waste or leave to the fate of map generation gods to deliver a sweet spot. Crossing the realms though, following the fantasy melody, the tune in the wind, they played victory not with music but with mercy, ending it quick, is the conglomerate of MarineLords. They are playing the Rus. So, Horse C, Horse Do, 2 civilizations with horse archers. Are we going to see a good old-fashioned horse-off? I have not seen one before. I don't think we'll see one now. But that is by far from the most exciting thing to comment about. Mongols versus Rus, 2 top-tier Final 8 competitors. Let's start analyzing, shall we? Yes. The Rus immediately will be looking to raise their bounty score. A quick recap for anyone that doesn't be in the know. Killing wildlife grants Rus food harvesting benefits. This can be denied by killing the wildlife before the Rus do. Mongols can be quick to get some extra scouts out with that double Uvu production, or horsemen if they want to. We are on dry Arabia, so why the Mista Mongols? Why Rus MarineLords? Well, it's likely the Mista went Mongols knowing that they can't just early game down MarineLord with friends. But also, they might try and save friends for the next round, which will feature water. But the Mista might have expected MarineLord to play friends this time, and the Mongols have been a heavily foretold decent counter to friends. MarineLord, though, playing Rus. The Rus haven't really been covered enough. They seem like a fairly well-rounded civilization. After England, it's certainly a safe civ to play by comparison to others. If you just run the numbers, though, in this best of 5, you need to win with 3 civilizations. We've seen a lot of France, then England. What comes after these in terms of well-roundedness? It's got to be the Rus. All that the Rus need is good access to wildlife for their early game start, which isn't a lot to ask for. They do have some water benefits, but since this isn't a water map, we can put a sticky note on that for later. MarineLord closing in on that 2nd tier bounty. The 250 bounty, they'll get that 10% increased food harvesting rate and more gold for the hunting cabins. Their scouts happen across the Mista's Uvu, where they already have some stables up. Missed that sheep at the back, though. It will defect over to MarineLord's side. The Mista getting a bunch of double-produced scouts out. They'll try to cover as much of the map as possible, scouring the land to deny that bounty, but they're only realistically going to be able to stop that tier 3 reward. The Khan exploring the Far East. New scouts covering the Far West. And in the north, the scouts have discovered the bloody wreckage of MarineLord's previous hunt. But MarineLord missed this one, the closest one to them. And I'm sure MarineLord has been confused as to where their own local deer park is, but they prioritized trying to take away the Mista's forest beef first. And the Mista almost missed this. Come the Blue Scouts, MarineLord, and the Mista hunting competition with the Khan. It's total deer domination for the Mista. 6-1 by my count. The next step, who is going to pick up all of the forest beef and deliver it to the villagers? Whilst we wait to find out the answer to that, let's do as a mandatory plug where we talk about the EGC, the Elite Gaming Channel. It's for people who are interested in competitive play. Maybe you're someone who likes to watch pro players smack each other around and hurt each other's video game feelings. Perhaps you are a pro player yourself and want to get involved. Maybe you can. But you'd have to go there and find out yourself, because I don't know who's sitting behind the monitor. There's no way for me to know. The Mista launching a Quadra Scout Khan 5-minute goldmine Dark Age Deny Rush. I coined the term myself. And I do actually have a story about that. But anyway, check out the video description, and you can also discover a link to the Ironcast Discord. That's us. We do the productions, and we're looking for all kinds of people. Wow, the payback is coming back. MarineLord says, I'm gonna burn your Uvu just a tad. Scouts are not the tool for this, but I think it's more about the principle. It's sending a message, and I want to send the message that the Ironcast Discord is not just for internet serfs who like to watch and listen, but those who like to make something better or more. So if you've got an idea, why not come along to the Discord and discuss it? Make Age of Empires 4 community a better place. Promotion time over. Age of time begins. MarineLord first with the Golden Gate, an economic landmark. It's a crappy marketplace which you can't produce traders from, but every minute or so you can do a favorable trade for free, essentially. God, imagine if we described all buildings so negatively. The Mista went for the Deer Stones, which doesn't emit poisonous gas, killing all nearby units. It does, however, run for your life, Khan. Grant movement speed to all units around the Deer Stones and outposts. Oh, strangely enough, though, the text for the Yam buff, it says that only cavalry and traders benefit from this buff. However, it affects everyone. If you see a godly, glowy aura around units, they are inflicted with Yam. Nobody seems to care that the Khan is attacking. They do no damage at this stage. And you know what? Throughout all of the quabbles people have had about history in Age of Empires, nobody seems to care about the realism part. Villagers taking 20 arrows, it's historically accurate. Probably. Wow, there's a lot of deer being brought back. The Mista collecting the forest beef, and the villagers couldn't be happier. They will maybe even have a festival. Only 8 villagers per little Bo Peep. What's happening with the triple MarineLord scouts? There's nothing left to scout on the map except keeping tabs on the enemy. MarineLord likely to find out that the Mista is collecting big-time food. How else are they going to produce all of that yam? The discovery has been made, and we might start seeing some actual fighting units coming out soon. MarineLord did have 2 stables. They're still collecting gold, so we could be seeing early knights actually speak of the devil. I'm a bit slow on the uptake. Here they come crashing into the scouts. They might be weak, but what they lack in health, they barely make up for in speed. The run to the litter got collapsed on, but surprisingly makes it out alive, consumes some yam, a whole bunch of spearmen blazing out, screaming. No losses, though. MarineLord hasn't exactly backed off either. They're going to put fire on your Uvu. The Mista will have to chase some more. MarineLord knows they aren't going to kill the Uvu. It's just meant to be annoying. God, I'm so used to seeing spearmen out because France is around, but this would be a good time for MarineLord to consider archers. Just consider them. Such a cheap counter, and archers have fantastic utility as well. I mean, think about all the things that ranged units can do. They hit things before they get close. They hit things when they run away. They're excellent on defense, because you can just kite around buildings. The Mista appears to be taking a defensive stance, anticipating perhaps more cavalry attacks in the near future. Will we see outposts start to spread out over the map to get that buff? The Meister going to the far north to collect the deer, as MarineLord will just build a hunting cabin and collect it on the spot. The Mista avoiding any conflicts, taking the scenic route. The scenic route is the safe route. That's what Grandma would say. Though I wouldn't know how scenic the route was. She would always make me put this bag over my head. And what's interesting here is when all the scouts are finished collecting meat, they can just pop them into these stealth forests. But the troublesome part is that they end up dying quickly if someone enters them. Either because the scouts end up attacking and revealing themselves, or because you just can't get to them quick enough to retreat them. Something is stirring up for the Mista, and I'm not talking about that 10-minute castle age. Their spear and horsemen are on the move. A new Khan is born, fully adult. What a miracle! The scouts know the enemy's location. They will rendezvous. I'm not sure why the scouts didn't just take the safe way around. Maybe it was a delicious forest beef bait, one that MarineLord won't take. And these scouts have taken a beating, but somehow they've managed to spread the beating around. The Steppes Redoubt was the chosen landmark, in case you missed this. Gold handed into this location will grant 50% more gold. Wow, 3 outposts surrounding that gold too. The Mista has been overly protective. Maybe the last round made them more cautious. And honestly, that's fine. We've got the Abbey of Trinity going up for MarineLord. I think a lot of people worry about wasting materials. Like, everything has to be 100% optimal, otherwise it's just a waste. This Gur is heading out into bad territory, but MarineLord holds their cavalry before laying torches upon it. So, just because you build something that doesn't get used doesn't mean game over. Sometimes it's hard to know the value of something that doesn't happen, and it didn't happen because of what you did. For example, I mentioned how you can spend 150 wood to wall off your gold and your mining camp. And, well, if the enemy then doesn't bother raiding you, do you say, oh, that sucks, my wall didn't get used, it was pointless? Or was it the fact that you had those walls up that it made the enemy change their approach? It's the same with the 3 towers. MarineLord will go and hunt the rest of the boars. There's one more to the south side of the map. Each one gives 75 bounty, and this last one would grant them their tier 3 15% bonus gathering food rate reward. Ooh, delicious! The Mista hunting angry meat in silence. What they need, though, is that boar. That's the one they want to deny. MarineLord knows where the boar is, and they are on their way to it. Oh, no, my mistake. Loving the scout here, pondering, writing poetry. Here I am upon enemy base, granting vision of their race. Their positions I shall relay. Using telekinesis. It's revolutionary. It's pretty awesome having so many scouts hang around. It's a shame they'll probably all die soon. We've got multi-spring out construction action. Speaking of scouts, actually, I kind of wish you had a tactical conditional command system. Like, if discovered, run here. You know, the more ways to play with the mind over micromatter, the better in my philosophy. Though you are welcome to disagree. For now, though, the scouts will live in a world where they will never know the touch of a loved one. For being touched means to die. A scout will replace the one that fell. But the horse archers, if they can kill one scout cavalry, I believe they can kill another. And look at this army from the Mista. It's got everything. Look at heavy cavalry, light cavalry, men-at-arms, spring-elds, spears. We're missing archers and Mangadai. But I think they've got ranged covered for now. 5 spring-elds is kind of hard to face. 15 minutes in almost. And there's not much that can counter these. MarineLord will need to execute flanking maneuvers with their cavalry and get to the spring elves when they are unprotected. For now, though, I think it's fine just to let the spring elves shoot their buildings. There's still time to respond. Just don't panic. Panic can start when the battering rams start ramming and battering. The cavalry is behind the spring elves. MarineLord is wondering. It seems like they wanted to go in and raid a bit. They will, in fact, do that. Perhaps, though, when there is an opportunity, they will come up from behind. Doesn't look like MarineLord got anything from their attack. The gold's almost out. The Mista will relocate soon. It'll be their first adventure outside of their starting positions. MarineLord riding the knights back, but they're going to be met with heavy cavalry, swords, and a battering ram. Scooting on past to burn some spring elves. I think that's a good call. The Khan bolstered the defense of their army. It's an extra 3 armor for 5 seconds. And you know what? MarineLord didn't lose much during that. Whilst this victory clearly goes to the Mista, MarineLord did get a lot of their knights out just before they died. It's probably not best for them to re-engage. The Spring Owls getting a double kill. You can just how low they are. Fighting is not an option. There's a mangonel here as well. And I am in awe of just how mixed this composition is from the Mista. MarineLord doesn't have the tools to be optimal about this. What they need is the numbers. MarineLord would really like to micro the horse archers, but the only targets they have is the spearmen. But how can one do that when there's so many other dangers? There's a lot of men-at-arms on the field too, resistant to arrows. They only need to stand around the spring elves. If they do that, they're doing a good job. And apparently having lots of lumber yards counters spring elves. They soak up damage, buying time for MarineLord to foster a new plan. A few heavy cavalry approaching from behind, horse archers getting special commands, but their damage is heavily mitigated. This attack has been unsuccessful, and the white flag is raised. Rus has been defeated. Victory goes to the Mista. It's 1 for 1. Okay, we're swiftly going to move into the next battle. This will be the 3rd match. My name's Anuki. Don't forget to scheme with me in the Ironcast Discord. Gotta go, gotta be late. See you soon.